In this video, I'm going to go over Lex Luthor's last days on Earth, as he and Superman sees it. All the way back in 1940 in Action Comics number 23, the character of Lex Luthor has plagued Superman with his evil deeds. Even though Lex and Clark were friends as kids, that changed in the future. Luthor sees Superman as a threat to his own power and influence, and is jealous of the adulation and admiration that the Man of Steel receives from the public. As Clark sits alone in his office, he starts to reminisce about the time when he was a kid, a memory that haunts him to this day. Lex! I'm sorry! Let me in! Lex, for God's sakes, open the door! Lex! The Last Days of Lex Luthor by Clark Kent. Let's go back a bit. It was a normal day in Bangladesh when the ship began to shake violently. The skies were blue and cloudless. There was no storm. Whatever it wasn't the weather. People in the newsroom started to scramble. Clark had already taken flight. The giant crab-like machine was dealing havoc among the island of Megwip, trying to sink the island with sheer force. People are flying everywhere, until a flash of red and blue appears to stop the madness in one fell swoop. Not one person died that day. Now to take care of the giant robotic monster. It's lined with lead so he can't see inside. He rips open his shell to reveal his old nemesis. Superman could sense something was off with him though, but he didn't have any time for that. The island was still shaking. He puts his IQ and math skills to good use, building what is essentially an earthquake reflector. Now back to Luthor. Why, he asks. Luthor replies with, I wanted to get your attention. Superman snaps, but Luthor tells him to look at him really hard and close. What do you see, he asks. You're dying, he responds. Rapid cellular decay, it's called. He was messing around with some kryptonite when it backfired, causing an explosion, mixing his DNA with God knows how many chemicals, resulting in this. He can't find a cure, and with only a few days left to live, he makes a bet with himself that he can't lose. What's the only thing in the world that's guaranteed no matter what? Superman's compassion. Superman won't let him die. No matter how evil he was, no matter how hard they fought, Superman always answers cries for help. Superman made a solemn vow to hold all lives sacred, even Lex's. Superman thinks he's lying, so he checks again. He has memorized Lex's pulse rate and comes to the conclusion that he is in fact telling the truth. He knows it's a trap, but Superman agrees to help, but has to stay between them. Too late, he replies. Lex has been secretly broadcasting the whole conversation across the globe, so now everyone knows Superman is helping one of the world's most evil and biggest threats. Lex says that he hates him ever since the day he laid eyes on him. But Lex doesn't know Superman is Clark. They were friends at one point in time, back in Smallville. Lex's ideas were just too big for such a small town, and that's when he began to resent the world. Nobody understood him, just like Clark. Superman picks him up and starts flying towards the Arctic. I call it my fortress of solitude, he replies. Lex can't believe his eyes, and he also can't believe he let him inside. But Superman has to, in order to get him to Kandor, the tiny bottle nation of ex-Kryptonians. He gears him up and in they go. They greet him like a king. Brainiac miniaturized the city before Krypton fell, and they can't return to normal size, so they're just stuck in the bottle. There's no yellow sun there, and that means no powers. Lex says, I could kill you here. You could try, Superman responds confidently. They put Lex through every test imaginable, analysed every atom, but it's not enough. They find out he can't transfer it to anyone, so that's a good thing. But he will begin to age rapidly. Lex mocks the quote-unquote most brilliant scientist in the galaxy. there's not much time left. Superman can only think of one cure, but it's worse than the disease. It's a place. A place where Krypton banishes his worst enemies. His father called it Phantom Zone. They can speak telepathically there. The place is devoid of atmosphere, of physics, of everything. Hit me, Superman says. I know you've been waiting years. Lex's hand phases right through him. Only here can time stop, and you can exist without aging. With enough brain power and willpower, you can make yourself solid here temporarily. The prisoners of the zone begin to surround and chant Clark's real name. Kal-El, Kal-El, Kal-El. It's Zod. He commands them to kill him. They gather all their energy together to become solid, taking him, and just as they're about to slaughter the Man of Steel, Luthor grabs a blade and puts it to Zod's neck. He needs Superman more than he needs revenge right now. Superman leaves Lex behind and returns in search of a cure. But the prisoners all combine their energies once more and dispel Lex from the realm once and for all. He gets blasted back to Earth. The scientists of Kandor ask Superman, why risk your life for this villain? Clark flashes back to the memory he had back in his office. Well, that's it, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, let me know. Comment down below. And let me know if you want to see the next part. And I'll make that whenever the second book in this series comes out. Because I really enjoyed making this. And I think the story is going to be really, really good. So as I said, comment down below, let me know. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.